Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So it's been quite some time since I last uploaded a tutorial on my channel. So today I have this chunky bubble cardigan tutorial for you guys. So if you are interested, stay tuned and let's get right into the video. So as you can see here, I have already started knitting this cardigan. So this is going to be a bottom up cardigan. That means you're going to start knitting from the bottom and you're going to work your way up. So I have casted on 98 stitches in total, which is going to be later on divided into 2 front panels and 1 back panel. So I did start knitting with this 7mm circular needles. I casted on 98 stitches with this chunky yarn, and I knitted about 2 inches of 1 by 1 rib. And once you have the desired ribbing, you are going to switch on to this 10mm circular needles. After switching on to the 10mm needles, you are going to work in plain stockinette stitch until the work measures about 12 inches. So once you have finished knitting 12 inches, we are going to go ahead and divide stitches for the front panels and the back panel. So I'm going to start knitting one of the front panels first. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to start knitting one of the front panels. So for that you are going to slip the first stitch and then you are going to knit 23 stitches. So in total you are going to knit 24 stitches. So with this I have finished knitting 24 stitches. So from now on we are going to only focus on these 24 stitches, which are going to form one of the front panels. So the remaining stitches are going to stay on the needle and we will work only the first 24 stitches that we just knitted. So turn your work on to the wrong side and we are going to pull through all the 24 stitches. So slip the first stitch purlwise and you are going to purl through all the stitches. So after you have finished purling all the stitches, you are going to turn your work onto the right side again and you are going to only work the first 24 stitches. And you can already see here the front panels is starting to separate from the rest of the stitches. So slip the first stitch and knit 23 stitches next. So along with the slip stitch you are going to knit 24 stitches in total. So once you have finished knitting 24 stitches, you're going to again turn your work onto the wrong side and we're going to pull through all the 24 stitches. So slip the first stitch purlwise and then you're going to pull through the remaining stitches. So we have just worked 2 rows and you can already see the front panel is starting to separate from the rest of the stitches. So from here you are going to knit all the stitches on the right side and pull through all the 24 stitches on the wrong side until the front panel measures about 20 or 21 inches. So here I continue to work the first 24 stitches in stockinette stitch, and next I'm going to lay the work in a flat surface and I'm going to measure it using a measuring tape. So I'm going to start measuring from the stitches that I'm currently working on till the bottom. So it is about 20 inches. I'm happy with this length. Next I'm going to bind off these 24 stitches for the front panel. I'll be using a very basic cast off method. Slip the first stitch and knit one, and you're going to pass the second stitch on your right needle over the first stitch. So you have bind off one stitch. Next, knit one stitch, again pass the second stitch over the first. So likewise you're going to continue to knit one and pass the second stitch over the first, and you will continue to bind off all the stitches. So I have last two stitches here. I'm going to knit the last stitch and pass the second stitch over the first, and you'll be left with one last stitch on your needle. So leaving enough till you're going to cut the yarn, and you're going to make a knot to secure everything. So we have finished knitting one of the front panels. Now we are going to move on to knit the back panel. So for the back panel I'm going to knit 50 stitches. So I'm going to join a new yarn here. For that I'm going to insert the needle knitwise, and I'm going to take a new yarn, make a loop like so, and you're going to insert it and then knit. And I'm going to leave this tail right here. I'm going to weave this later on, and you're going to simply knit 50 stitches for the back panel. So with this I have finished knitting 50 stitches for the back. So these remaining 24 stitches are going to be for the next front panel. So these are going to remain on the needles like so, and we will only focus on these 50 stitches from now on. So turn your work onto the wrong side, and like before, slip the first stitch and pull through all the stitches till the end of the row. So this is the last stitch. I'm going to pull through the last stitch, and this is where I joined the new yarn on the previous row. I'm just going to tie a knot so that it stays in its place. Next we are going to turn the work, and from now on we are going to knit all the stitches on the wrong side, pull through all the stitches on the wrong side until the back and the front panel measures the same length. So let's go ahead and do that. I have finished knitting the back panel also. As you can see, it is same length as the front panel. So next we are going to bind off stitches for the back panel as well. We'll be using the same method as the front panel. Slip the first stitch, knit one, pass the second stitch over the first, and likewise you're going to bind off all the 50 stitches. So I have the last stitch left here. I'm going to knit that and pass the second stitch over the first. Again I have last one stitch. I'm going to snip the yarn and make a knot to secure it. So we finished knitting the back panel as well. Now we have these 24 stitches on the needles. I'm quickly going to show you how the work looks till now. So we first did the front panel. After separating, we knit till the work measured about 20 stitches and did bind off, and we did the same with the back panel. Now we have these 24 stitches which are going to be for the other front panel. So I'm going to again join a new yarn here using the same method as before, and I'm going to knit through all the stitches on the right side. From here we are going to work on repeat, knit through all the stitches on the right side, pull through all the stitches on the wrong side, and we will continue to work in stockinette stitch until it measures about 20 inches. This is what the piece looks like so far. We have finished knitting all the 3 panels separately. So we started from the bottom, knitted till 12 inches and then knitted these 3 panels separately. Now we are going to next join the front and the back panels. So let's go ahead and do that. So before joining the front and the back panels, I want to quickly explain to you how I'm going to join them. So when I just simply lay them on a flat surface like this, you can see that the neck opening here is going to be very narrow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little trick which I'm going to use here. So taking a measuring tape, I'm measuring the back panel width-wise. So the total width of the back panel is 22 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take mid section, that is 11, and from that mid point I'm going to count 3 inches to the left. I'm going to take a stitch marker and place it, and from 11 I'm going to count 3 inches to the right. So in that way I have 6 inches for the neck opening. Next, when I lay the front panel, now you can see there is some extra here 2 inches which I'm going to adjust later on when I join the front and the back pieces together, which I'm going to show you. For joining the panels together, I'm going to use a tapestry needle, and we are going to use the mattress stitch. So first, taking the needle, we are going to pass through the edge stitch and then tie a knot to secure it. And the front panel here is quite wider than the back, 2 or 3 inches wider than the back panel, and I'm going to show you a small trick to fix it. So lay your work flat facing both the panels together, and we are going to first start from the back panel. So from the back panel I'm going to pick up 2 stitches which are just after the edge stitch, like so. Feed the needle through and do not pull the yarn tightly at this point, let it loose. And from the front panel I'm going to pick up 2 stitches. Next, from the back panel I'm going to pick up only 1 stitch. So pick up 1 stitch, and from the front I'll pick up 2. So from the front panel, which is the wider panel, I'm always going to pick up 2 stitches, and from the back panel I'm going to alternate between 2 and 1. So pick up 2 from the back, 2 from the front. Next you are going to pick up only 1 from the back. And 2 from the front. Next we are going to pick up 2 from the back as well. So once you have finished picking up stitches for 2 or 3 inches, lay your work on a flat surface and then pull the yarn to pull everything together. You can also watch a tutorial on how to do mattress stitch. So we will continue to repeat this step. We will always pick up 2 stitches from the front and we will alternate between 2 and 1 stitch on the back panel. So again, let me show you one more time. Pick up 2 stitches from the front, only 1 from the back, 2 from the front and 2 from the back. So alternating these 2 steps, you will continue to join the panels together. So let me just quickly remind you why the front and the back panels are not symmetrical at this point, because previously we made adjustments to make the neck opening wider, which was narrow. We made it wider. So because we moved the front panels 3 inches on both the sides, so that 3 inches is what the difference in the width is here, which we are adjusting when we are joining the panels. I hope the instructions are clear. So with that, I have finished joining both the panels together. I'm just going to tie a knot and I will weave the ends later on. And you can see this is the opening for the sleeves. We'll later on pick up stitches from here. So let's move on quickly to the other side. So these are the stitch markers which we placed when we adjusted the neckline, so don't get confused. So insert the needle right where the stitch marker was and we will start joining the panels from the neck to the outward. So for joining the panels, here also I'm going to use the same method as the other side. So we will start from the neck and move towards the shoulder. So using the tapestry needle, I'm going to pick up 2 stitches from the front panel and I'll pick up 2 stitches from the back, 2 from the front, and next I'll pick up only 1 from the back. So it is the same method as the other side. On the front panel, you're always going to pick up 2 stitches, and from the back side you will alternatingly pick up 2 stitches and then 1 stitch. So continue to do that to join the panels together. So this is what the piece is going to look like once you have joined the front and the back panels. This is the neck opening, and from here we are going to pick up stitches for the sleeves. So now we are going to move on to the sleeves, and we are going to start picking up stitches from the underarm area. So you can see stitches slanting to the opposite sides. I'm going to insert the needle and join a new yarn and pick up stitch. So I am picking up 2 stitches first, and we are not going to use the edge stitch, we are going to use this stitch just after that. So I have 2, I'm going to pick up the next stitch, that makes 3, and if I pick up every stitch from here, I'm going to end up having a lot more stitches than I need. So what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to skip the next one and pick up 2 stitches. So 1, and right after that another, that makes 2. Next you are going to again skip 1 stitch and pick up 2 stitches. So likewise you are going to continue to pick up stitches until you have evenly picked up 18 stitches till where you joined the front and the back panels. I'm going to show you that later on. So I'm just about to reach the part where I joined the front and the back panels, and I'm going to quickly count the number of stitches that are presently on the needle. So I have 15 stitches. I'm going to pick up the next stitch, that makes 16, 17, and 1 stitch I'm going to pick up right from the center where I joined the front and the back panels. So insert the needle, and that makes 18 stitches. So I have evenly picked up 18 stitches. Now follow the same steps to pick up 18 stitches from the other side as well. So this is the last stitch I'm going to pick up. So in total I have finished up picking 36 stitches for the sleeves. So this is the first stitch and this is the last stitch. You can see they should be side by side, so you don't have a huge gap in between. So these are the 36 stitches for the sleeves. Now we are going to knit the sleeves in the round. So if you have shorter needles in this 10 millimeter needles, definitely go for shorter cables because it will be a much more easier job. Since I have a very long cord, I'm going to use the magic loop method. Just bend the cord a little bit and pull the needles to bring some of the stitches onto your left hand needle. So we are now ready to join the work in the round. So before joining, I'm going to use a contrasting color yarn, and I have made a stitch marker with it. So for joining the work in the round, simply you are going to insert the needle knitwise onto the next stitch, and with the working yarn you are going to knit that stitch. So your work is now joined in the round. Next, continue to knit all the stitches that are presently on your left hand needle. And once you have finished knitting the stitches that are presently on your left hand needle, you're going to again bend the cord to bring some of the stitches onto the left hand needle. So this method is called the magic loop method. If the method is not clear for you in this video, you can always watch a video for that and then do this method. So continue to knit till the end of the row, that means till you have reached the stitch marker. So I have last few stitches left. Now we have completed knitting one full round. Now we are going to move on to the next round. So for that, simply slip the stitch marker and then continue to knit the next round. So this is going to be the second round. So from here you are going to knit every stitch in every round and continue to do that until we have finished knitting 11 rounds. So I have finished knitting 11 rounds. So you can use these V stitches, you can see, to count the rounds you have finished knitting. So I've finished knitting 11 rounds, and we are going to do a pattern round now. So I have one last stitch left. I'm going to quickly knit that. Next, slip the stitch marker onto the right needle, and we are going to do the bubble stitch on this round. So we are going to first knit 5 stitches. So from the stitch marker you are going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So first knit 5 stitches normally, and you are going to drop the 6th stitch from the left needle, and you are going to unravel it 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So unravel it 6 times, and next you are going to take the right needle, and you can see this stitch that is hanging at the bottom. You are going to insert the right needle from the front like so, and make sure that all the unraveled stitches are on top of that stitch as you are knitting that stitch. So that is going to create that bunched effect to make the bubble stitch. So each set of bubble is going to be of total 6 stitches. So this is first set, and we are moving on to the next. So again knit 5. So this is where I dropped the stitch. From here we are going to count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again on the next 6th stitch we are going to unravel it 6 times, and again insert the needle from the front and knit that. So that is the second bubble stitch that we have made. Again knit 5. So these are the 2 bubble stitches. Now again drop the 6th stitch, unravel it 6 times and knit it. So you're going to repeat that. Knit 5, drop the 6th stitch, unravel it 6 times and knit that. So you have total of 36 stitches in one round. So you are going to end up having 6 bubble stitches in one round. So I'm about to reach the stitch marker. So this is going to be the last set of bubble stitch. So slip the last stitch and unravel it 6 times, and you're going to knit that stitch. So with that we have finished making 6 bubble stitches. Now take a stitch marker and place it on the first stitch right here. So this is the round where we did the pattern. So this is going to help you count the rounds later on. So from here you are going to knit all the stitches in every round until you have finished, again knitting 7 rounds. So I have finished knitting next 7 rounds. So we are not going to count the row where we have placed the stitch marker. So we are going to count from the next row. So from the next row we are going to count till the stitches that are presently on the needle. So I have finished knitting 7 rounds. Next we are going to do the second pattern round. So from the stitch marker you are going to knit 2, and then third stitch you are going to slip off the needle and unravel 6 times, and again knit it as we did earlier. Next we are going to knit 5 stitches, and you're going to drop the next 6th stitch, unravel it 6 times and knit it. Again knit 5 stitches, and unravel the 6th stitch and knit that. Again knit 5. So likewise you're going to continue to make the bubbles, and you can also take the stitch marker and shift it to this round. So from here you're going to count the next 7 rounds. So continue to make the bubble stitches. So I'm going to make the last one. Knit 5, slip the 6th stitch, unravel it 6 times, knit the stitch, and before the stitch marker I have 3 stitches left. I'm going to knit that. Now slip the stitch marker, and you're going to knit further 7 rounds of stockinette stitch. So you're going to simply knit through all the stitches in all the rows. So I have again completed knitting 7 rounds. Now we are going to repeat the first pattern row that we did at the bottom. So for that we are going to slip the stitch marker and knit 5 stitches, 1 2 3 4 and 5, and slip the 6th stitch and unravel it 6 times, and you're going to knit it. Again repeat the same thing, knit 5 stitches, and you're going to slip the 6th stitch off the needle, unravel it 6 times and knit it. So continue to repeat that till the end of the row. So from here we are going to work on repeat. First we are going to finish this pattern round. We are going to knit 7 rounds to the second pattern round, knit 7 rounds to the first pattern round, likewise alternatively. So here I have finished 3 sets, you can see, and you are going to continue to do that until you have finished 7 sets. So I have finished making 7 sets of bubble stitches. So once you have finished making all the sets, and I am at the end of the row here, and next we are going to switch on to these 7mm needles since we are going to knit the cuff. So remove the stitch marker at this point, and next we are going to knit and transfer stitches onto the 7mm needles. So I'm going to first knit 2 stitches, 1 and 2. So let me just take this needle to the side. So we have knit 2 stitches, and next we are going to knit 2 stitches together. So knit 2 together, Next, knit 2 stitches. Next, again knit 2 together, and you're going to repeat that till the end of the row, till you have finished transferring all the stitches onto the 7mm needles. So after the decrease, I have 27 stitches. I'm going to go ahead and decrease one more stitch. So slip the stitch purlwise, and you're going to pass the second stitch over the first. So decrease one more stitch, and you are left with 26 stitches now. So now we can start to knit the ribbing. So place a stitch marker to mark the beginning of the round, and we are going to start knitting one by one rib. So knit 1, yarn to the front, purl 1, yarn to the back, knit 1, yarn to the front, purl 1, and repeat that till the end of the row. So I have one last stitch left, so I'm going to purl the last stitch. Now slip the stitch marker, and in the next round you're going to simply knit the knit stitch and purl the purl stitch. So knit 1, next is purl stitch, so purl 1, knit 1, next is again purl, we are going to purl 1, and you are going to continue to do a 1 by 1 rib until you have finished knitting about 7 rows of 1 by 1 rib. So I've finished knitting 7 rows of 1 by 1 rib. You can remove the stitch marker now. Next we are going to bind off stitches. So for binding off, this is the first stitch. You're going to knit 1, yarn to the front, purl 1. Next what you're going to do is you're going to pass the second stitch over the first one, yarn to the back, again you're going to knit 1, pass the second stitch over the first, next is purl stitch, so yarn to the front and purl 1, pass the second stitch over the first, again yarn to the back and knit 1, pass the second stitch over the first, yarn to the front, purl 1, pass the second stitch over the first. So here you can see I have finished binding off certain stitches. You are going to continue to bind off stitches till the end of the row. So with this I have finished binding off all the stitches. Since this is in the round, the last stitch going to be a little bit higher than the first one. So to adjust that, I'm picking up one stitch and passing the second stitch over the first, so that will make the overall work much more neater. Now we are going to cut the yarn and make a knot to secure everything. So with this we have finished knitting one of the sleeves. Follow the same steps to knit the other sleeve as well. So here I have finished knitting both the sleeves. Now we are just left to knit the front band, so let's go ahead and do that. So lay your work in flat like so, and we are going to start picking up stitches for the front band. So for picking up the stitches, we are not going to use this edge stitch. We are going to use the stitch right after the edge stitch. So you're going to insert the needle like so at the bottom, and you're going to take a new yarn and knit it. Next, I'm going to insert the needle onto the next stitch like so, you can see, and we are going to again knit that. So we have picked up 2 stitches, and for the front band I'm going to pick up every single stitch. So I'm not going to skip any, and I will pick up every single stitch. And once you reach the neck area like here, so this is the joint where we had joined the front and the back panels, you can go ahead and pick up the stitches like so. And for the back you can see the chain that has formed by binding off at the top. You can see we are going to pick up stitches along that. So pick up every stitch. I hope you can see well here. So you are going to continue to pick up stitches all the way to the bottom. So with that I have finished picking up stitches. Now I'm going to turn the work inside out, and we are going to start working in 1 by 1 rib. So pull the stitches a little bit to free the needle, and using this other end of the needle we are going to start knitting in 1 by 1 rib. So slip the first stitch, and we are going to start with the purl stitch. Purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, and continue to do that till the end of the row. So this is the last stitch, and once you have finished that, again turn the work. This is the right side. Now you're going to knit the knit stitch and purl the purl stitch. So since the first stitch is purl, I'm going to purl that and knit 1, purl 1, repeat till the end of the row. So you're going to continue to knit in 1 by 1 ribbing for 5 rows, and you're going to bind off stitches using the same method that we used for the sleeves. So we have finished knitting the cardigan. Now I'm going to show you how I usually weave the loose ends. I usually use these tapestry needles. You're going to simply pass the yarn through the needle and turn the work inside out, and then I'm going to simply feed the yarn like so, and I'm going to pass the needle through few of the stitches like so. I'm going in a twisting motion so that the yarn is well secured. And once you have done that, you can take a scissor and snip the yarn. So repeat this step to weave in all the loose ends in your cardigan, and with that we have finished knitting this cardigan. So this is the final product. I really love how these bubbles stand out and how poofy the sleeve is. I really love big voluminous sleeves, so I I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial and will make this cardigan for yourself. And please do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Till then, I will see you next time. Bye bye and take care.